This is Kevin. Welcome to a Python beginner tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a paycheck approximator. It's going to get the user's hours that they've worked, the user's hourly salary, multiply them together, and then subtract it by taxes. So let's get started. First, you're going to need an IDE that can run Python. Let's create a new file, save that in my folder, and name it paycheck.py. Alright. First things first, we're going to create a variable called hours. And what you do to create a variable is you type in the variable name, the equal sign, and you can have a string, which would be a thing in quotes, like double quotes. You need two quotes on each side. One quote on each side. And then you could make it equal to an integer, which is this, a number, or a float, which is a number with a decimal. Or you can make it true, or false, which is a Boolean. But for now, we're going to make it equal to a function, which is called input. Now, functions are going to look like this, but we're going to have to pass in a string argument. So we're going to be putting two quotes. Now, whatever we put in these quotes is going to be what we're going to be asking the user. So we're going to ask, how many hours have you worked? All right, and we're going to save. And if we run this, let me zoom in. You're going to see how many hours have you worked. Now, let me make this a little cleaner by adding a colon and a space. So how many hours have you worked? And whatever we type into this will be entered into this hours variable. So whatever we input, whatever the user inputs, will be entered into this variable. That's what the variable equals. So I'm going to show you right quick. Let's print out hours, and it's not going to print out like print. It's just going to display on the terminal thing that we have going on, the console. So how many hours have you worked? Let's say 20. It's going to print out 20. All right. Next up, we're going to ask them their hourly salary. We're going to name this variable salary. You can name variables whatever you want to. But just to make it simple for the reader to understand, the person reading your code to understand, you're going to want to name it variables that are easy to understand. Anyways, we're going to make the salary variable make it input. What is your hourly salary? So if you see right here, it's going to ask how many hours have you worked? 20. What is your hourly salary? 11. And those variables are going to yeah. I'm sorry. This is my first tutorial. I'm kind of fucking up. Okay. So what do you think we're going to do next? Are we going to multiply these two together and get the gross salary? The gross paycheck? No, you can't multiply these together because they are strings. What the input function? This is an input function. Functions are something that looks like this. It's the name and then parentheses. So what this input function outputs is a string, which is things that you put in quotes. And you can't multiply things that you put in quotes in Python or in a lot of programming languages. You're going to want them to be numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable called gross paycheck. And you're going to want to, if you're following on, you're going to want to make sure you have all the capitalization the same. This is just I don't even know what it's called. You just for every if you have a word and then you have a new word, you're gonna want to capitalize the next like word and everything, like if that makes sense, like hi, my, or like good day, like just like shit like that. Anyways, so we have gross paycheck variable. We're going to make hours into a float, which is a number with a decimal. So we're going to float function hours, and we're going to multiply, which is an asterisk in a lot of programming languages. And if you Google like 2 asterisk 4, it'll come up with that because it recognizes it as a sign for multiplication. You're not gonna want to do x. You're gonna want to do an asterisk. And we're gonna multiply it by float function salary, and let's print gross paycheck out just to see if it works. So how many hours have you worked? 20. What is your hourly salary? 11, and it's gonna print out 220. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is get the gross paycheck tax, which is going to equal gross paycheck times 0.13, which is 13%. You can change it to whatever you'd like, 15%, 20%. But anyways, we're gonna make a new variable called the paycheck variable, and we're gonna do gross paycheck minus gross paycheck tax to subtract it by the amount that's getting taxed. All right. Now we're going to want to print out your approximated paycheck is, and then we're going to concatenate, which is like add to the string. We're going to add paycheck, but you can't do this. You have to make, because paycheck is a float or an integer. I'm not sure which one it is. You're going to want to make it into a string so it can concatenate, so it can add to. You can only add strings together with other strings, I believe, but you can add floats to ints. So there's that. But we're gonna string this paycheck. Make sure you have two parentheses, because there's one one open one right here and one closed one right here and one open one right here and one closed one right here. All right. Anyways, let's see if this works. All right. Let's zoom in further. How many hours have you worked? Let's say 20 hours. What is your hourly salary? 11. Your approximated paycheck is. Let's actually add a $sign just to All right. 20, 11.25. And we got our approximated paycheck. And that's how you make it. Yay! All right, I hope y'all were able to follow. This is my first tutorial, so I don't know if it was kind of shitty. But there's I have a different version of this. It's like a little bit more complicated. It has it asks you if you're talking about a bi-weekly or weekly hour, and then it also goes through it goes, if you don't know how many hours you've worked in the week, it asks you how many hours you've worked every single day, and it runs through a loop through a list. I thought I'd do a simple tutorial for my first tutorial. Thank y'all for watching. Bye bye.